That's so funny. I missed 52 days of school one school year, and it wasn't even like nearly finished.
Wait,
It was
how
bad.
many days of school do we get a year?
That's like more than a month and like a half. That's like a month and a half.
That's a lot.
And like that was me skipping school.
Why? What were you doing?
Just chilling.
Chilling?
Yeah, my mom like wasn't around, so like me and my sister would just skip school. Like yeah. And then I had to they were like, you're not gonna graduate, like me and my sister. And so we had to graduate before school detention and after school detention every day for 52 days.
Oh my
And I
god.
fucking did it.
I didn't get detention
Really?
at all for
Yeah.
skipping when I got caught skipping school at that high
Yeah.
school. Before, it was like very small incidents
Mhm.
where I'd have detention. I'd had detention for a week once.
Fuck.
A whole
it
week
sucks.
separated from school. Like, they would make you write over and over again, I will not do whatever the fuck you did. I will not do...
my
And you'd
God.
write
I
it
hate
all
it.
day for a whole week.
I hate
I've
writing lines.
never had
It
detention.
was horrendous.
Really?
Never.
You've never had detention? What was the
No.
first thing you went to detention for? Because I've got a funny story.
The fighting.
Fighting,
Yeah,
like
fighting.
physical.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
like physical fighting. It
Oh,
wasn't even
man.
anything interesting.
How old were you?
12? I think it was the first time I stood up for myself.
Really?
Yeah, like being bullied. The first
Fuck.
time, the last time, if I can remember correctly.
Yeah.
Being bullied was
What
the time I stood
happened?
up for myself. You know, it's just, I guess, what people would call boisterous behaviour.
Boisterous.
Yeah. Boys being boys,
Yeah.
lads being lads.
Boisterous.
Just fighting.
Sort of pick on the weakest person they could find until
Yeah.
one time it was just like, it's not me.
No.
Yeah. And I got punished for it, for standing up for myself.
Yeah, that's annoying. But I
Yeah.
mean, I guess, I don't know. Yeah, that's super annoying because I'm just trying to think. Like, I remember, okay, specifically this one time in class. I don't remember. I was like the new kid at school. Like, yeah, new kid at school. And there was this boy who was just like, he rode my bus and he was just like a wee shit. Like, he just sucked. Like, he just sucked. He just like interrupted class and was like really rude to people and just like a really bad kid. I'm sure he had like at home problems now, but he just directed
At the time, he was an asshole.
yeah, he directed all his energy at me. And then he said, like, one day he just crossed the line. He, like, we had those, like, typical American, like, school desks, like, the individual ones. And it had it to where it was, like, facing the middle of the class. So it's, like, one side was facing the middle, one side was facing the middle. And it had, like, a runway for the teacher to walk up and down. It was a pretty cool setup. Like,
Yeah.
And then... yeah, he said something about my mom and the teacher wasn't in the classroom. And that was like it for me. Like, I was just like, oh, hell no. I had never hit someone or done anything. And he was sitting across the bit on the other side and he said it. And I like got up out of my like desk and I walked over and I slapped him in the face.
Oh my god.
And then he started crying. And I walked back and I sat back down.
Wait, how old were you?
I was like 7 or 8.
Whooped
No,
his ass.
fucking raging.
And you slapped him.
Yeah, I
you
was just
bitch
like,
slapped him.
He said something about my mom. I was like, oh, hell no. And then
Oh my god.
in hindsight, I was quite young. Wait, I might have been like, no, I was that young because I remember it was like that specific school teacher's like class. And then, yeah, literally the teacher was like, what? Came back in the classroom and was like, why are you crying, Jason? Or something like that. Jason, stupid. He was like, Melanie hit me. And I was like, yeah. And then she took me outside. She was like, now, like, why did you hit him? Like, basically, because I was, like, such a good kid. And I was like, he said something about my mom. And she was like, oh, go back to class. And I was like, fuck yeah.
That's a good excuse.
Yeah, it was just a really, really funny moment. But yeah, so I totally get that. Like, yeah, he deserved that slap. He was pushing my buttons.
Wow, I definitely shut down. Like,
Yeah.
I would just be like, I'd be sad that someone said something about my mom, but I would probably just be internal. Like,
yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
fair.
That's pretty much how I would feel as well.
I would just be like, what a dick.
Until you're pushed, it's a different story.
Yeah, that's why you just cross the line. It's just a trigger word. Talked about mom. What'd you say about my mom? Raging.
We're gonna talk about mothers.
We're gonna talk about mothers.
If you've seen White Chicks,
It's a good film.
it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
The white powder. Do you know the scene?
I've seen that film quite a few times.
It's so funny.
It's so funny.
What a classic. It's fucking great. If you haven't seen it, please go and watch it.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
White Chicks.
Yeah, literally. Me and Selby, like the amount of times we've seen it is ridiculous.
Yeah, the first time I ever hung out with Maggie, we watched it together and we fell asleep on her couch. It was great. Yeah.
It was fucking great. That was actually such a good evening. Anyway, getting back to the story.
Yeah.